Happy Eid and happy celebrations to every Nigerian. You're watching Newsroom series live from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Dominic Iwiwu, and today our focus will be on the southeastern region. But before we start on that region, let's have a snippet of our top stories making rounds at the moment. Happy celebrations to our Muslim brethren and happy holiday to Nigerians once again. It's Eid Fitri, a very significant Muslim festival marking the end of the 30 days Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. Globally, it's a time of great celebration and feasting as Muslims around the world come together with family and friends to commemorate the completion of their fasting obligations. In Nigeria, Eid Fitri is a significant event with many people traveling back to their hometowns to celebrate with loved ones. Across different prayer grounds today, Muslims prayed for the unity of the country and restoration of peace in troubled regions in the north and southeast. Now, Muslims are celebrating Eid al-Fitri, and earlier today, most of them visited the prayer ground to offer prayers for themselves and the nation. The president, who just returned from a state visit to the United Kingdom, was at Dodan Barracks hours after his arrival. The president also joined Muslim faithful at the Dodan Barracks praying ground to observe the Eid prayers. He asked Nigerians to continue to pray for peace in the country and also practice the preachings of the Holy Prophet. He says this period is one to share love and sacrifice.
We give thanks to God for guiding us through the month of Ramadan. We accepted the principles, the philosophy, the doctrine of give, peace, security, and love of a nation, of neighbors, and kindness to all humanity in any way we can, giving assistance to the needy and helping the vulnerable. That is the teaching. The sacrifices that you've made, may God accept it. Is the question that we must continue, not because of the Ramadan has come and is over. We thank Almighty God for giving us that month. But the teaching must continue even after Ramadan. We must continue to be our brother's keeper, good behavior, good neighbors, love to humanity, and kindness to all of us. And pray for peace in our country. The stability of our peace and security of the nation is not just one man's responsibility. We all are involved. Information, suspicious information, movements of people across the length and breadth of this country is our responsibility. We must give information. We must respect the rule of law. Tolerance among all faiths. The fact that we worship the same God means that our style might be different, our behavior may be different, but we say to God Almighty, it is one God, whether through the Islam or the Christian faithfuls. And incidentally, this coincides, Ramadan coincides with the two faiths. So we must thank God for that and reflect well in our society, do everything possible to bring peace, stability, love, and sharing of our privileges and opportunities.
Among the early callers at the prayer ground today was the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima. After observing prayers at the Maiduguri Ramat Square in Borno State, he called for harmony among Nigerians to overcome the challenges confronting the nation. He also reassured Nigerians that insecurity in the country will be contained through the proactive measures deployed by both the federal and state governments.
Message to all Nigerians is a call for unity. It's a call for us to understand that what binds us together supersedes whatever that divides us. Incidentally, the Ramadan coincided with the Lent season for our Christian brothers and sisters. We believe that the 30 days of fasting that we endured or we observed call for a deeper reflection for us to understand that unity and peace of this country is absolutely essential for our development. There can never be peace without development. There can never be development without peace. We should call on all Nigerians to fuse into one and face our common challenges of underdevelopment, insecurity, and destitution.
We start off in Anambra State, where the state's governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has congratulated the Muslim community in the state and across Nigeria on the celebration of Eid Fitri, marking the end of the holy month of Ramadan. In a goodwill message, the governor also commends them for their resilience, discipline, and endurance throughout the 30-day fast, noting that the values of patience, charity, and self-denial demonstrated during the Ramadan are vital to strengthening societal harmony. He urges adherents to sustain the spirit of prayer and good deeds cultivated during the period, while continuing to pray for peace, unity, and progress in the state and the country. Reaffirming his administration's commitment to building an inclusive society, the governor pledges to promote religious harmony, tolerance, and mutual respect among citizens as he wishes the Muslim faithful a peaceful and joyous Eid celebration, encouraging continued coexistence and collective contribution to national development. Staying in Anambra State, the more than a decade-long crisis rocking the traditional stool of Awka Kingdom has come to an end following the report of the Commission of Inquiry into the Awka traditional stool, reaffirming Obi Gibson Nwosu as the Eze Uzo, the second of Awka, and declaring Chief Austin Ndigwe an imposter. Anambra State's Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, received the report as submitted by the eminent members of the commission, headed by the former Chief Judge of Anambra State, Justice Paul Obidigwe, with the Vice Chancellor of the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Professor Kate Omenoga, as the Secretary. The Governor assures the Commission of a careful study of the document, which will be followed with the issuance of a white paper. The Governor maintains that under his watch, no community will have two traditional rulers, as he negates the principle of law and order.
Awka North local government is one of the agrarian areas in Anambra State. Formerly known for underdevelopment in infrastructure and representation, it now appears that the Book of Remembrance has been opened for the area under the administration of Professor Chukwuma Soludo. This empowerment program is aimed at restoring dignity to rural life, reducing economic hardship and unemployment among youths, as well as promote inclusive development.
We'll come back to that report. Now let's move over to Ebonyi State, where the state's Governor Francis Wifuru has reiterated his administration's commitment to infrastructural development, as he has set up different committees with the mandates to ensure successful compliance and completion of ongoing projects across the 13 local government areas of the state. Governor Nwifuru's goal is to unveil over 30 signature projects across the state, officially scheduling a 27-day commissioning exercise running from May 1st to May 27th, 2026.
The committee supervising projects under the Ebonyi State Ministry of Works arrives at the Vincent Agwu Wankwo Junction, popularly known as Vanco. The Vanco tunnels and flyover, currently under construction, are expected to enhance the state's appearance, restore aesthetics, and ease traffic congestion within the Abakaliki metropolis. Work is ongoing as committee members inspect the site to ensure compliance with standards and timely completion of the project.
The governor of Ebonyi State selected a committee of a 5-man committee or 6-man committee and said we should go around all the ongoing projects in Ebonyi State to make sure that all those projects are ready for commissioning before May 29, 2026.
Other locations visited during the inspection tour include rural road projects across the state, as well as the Ekanyere Bridge in Eza North local government area, which is still under construction and is expected to connect agrarian communities. The committee expresses displeasure at the pace of work at some project sites and summons the contractors for explanations.
Our job is not to supervise, but to ensure completion, which means where work is not progressively moving well, we will take over to ensure the completion of such works. Both the works done by the contractors and the one as a direct labor. So that is exactly what we are doing. Here we are at Vanco, where the work has progressively moved very well.
The committee assures all residents that all ongoing projects will be completed within the shortest possible time.
His Excellency the Governor have given the assurance, and it is because of the assurance that he has set special ESCO committee. There are about 5 committees, different committees, to ensure completion of the work. So with this committee, I'm giving you assurance that His Excellency's objective will be achieved.
The renewed urgency follows a 3-month ultimatum issued by Governor Francis Nwifuru that all projects must be completed within the allotted time.
Let's now bring you the story on the Anambra State's traditional Tussle in Awka, the state's capital, as the governor, Professor Soludo, has received the report as submitted by the eminent members of the commission headed by the former Chief Judge of Anambra State, Justice Paul Odigwe. The governor assures the commission of a careful study of the documents which will be followed with the issuance of a white paper. The governor also maintains that under his watch, no community will have 2 traditional rulers, as it negates the principle of law and order.
Professor Chukuma Soludo makes his entrance into the executive chambers of the Lighthouse Awka, where members of the Commission of Inquiry into the Awka traditional stool crisis are already waiting. Three weeks of investigations and tireless efforts to uncover the remote causes of the over a decade crisis have come to an end, and reports now ready.
Mr. Governor, they have completed their work, and today they are here to submit their report. Today we've had about 3 meetings, and this is it.
The chairman of the commission and a former chief judge of Anambra State goes straight to present the report.
The commission concludes that Chief Austin was not appropriately selected and improved. His goals as the executive of Awka received and announced to the Anambra State government. It may please Mr. Governor to graciously receive the report to give such effect to his findings and the recommendations as Mr. Governor may deem fit in the overriding interests of justice, equity, and enduring peace. and good governance of Awka and Anambra State.
The governor receives the report and demands speedy implementation.
What I will assure you is that we will read this with keen interest. As soon as we leave here now, we're going to have a small team, tease this out, read through this, and we will issue a white paper as a follow-up to this. Because this, we just have to bring permanent peace to the Awka.
Rounding off the event, the governor maintains that Awka, as the capital of the state, cannot be brought into ridicule, noting that if the institution of the Reverend Eze Uzu is in dispute, it diminishes the entire state, and so insists that there must be law and order.
You're watching Newsroom series on Channels Television. Right after this break, we'll bring you more stories making the headlines in the southeastern region. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Abia State government, led by Governor Alex Oti, through one of its agencies, has raised the alarm over a high rate of glaucoma in the state, revealing that 6,381 confirmed cases have been recorded in the past 28 months. These figures were presented at the 2026 World Glaucoma Week Symposium in Umuahia by the administration of the Abia Eye Health Management Bureau. Dr. Betty Emeka Obasi said the figure may rise as more people are diagnosed.
So that they can be able to reach out to the community.
Members of the Abia Eye Health Management Bureau, led by Dr. Betty Emeka Obasi, join researchers, clinicians, policymakers, and development partners for a symposium pushing for glaucoma-free and the importance of community-driven effort to raise awareness to prevent blindness caused by glaucoma.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can we give it up?
Representing Governor Alex Oti, the State Health Commissioner, Professor Enoch Uche, is asking Abia residents to utilize facilities and equipment provided by the state government to improve eye health.
So that brings the ball to our court. We need, as a people, to ensure that we use these facilities. Of course, from the National Blindness Study, in 2015, it was found that the Southeast has the highest prevalence of glaucoma, 6.1%. That's almost like double of the national average. And so, what we're doing is to make sure that there are facilities for people to be able to go there, get screened, and of course, ensure that this is detected and prevented.
The State Eye Health Management Bureau says it's conducted more than 13,500 free eye screenings across the state in an ongoing health campaign.
Glaucoma is not just a medical condition. It is a silent epidemic. Africa bears the heaviest global burden, and in Abia State alone, our records show from September 2024 to date, it shows 6,381 confirmed cases of glaucoma. We know the true figures are higher because more than half of those living with this remain undiagnosed. This is why the World Association's global theme, Uniting for a Global Free World, aligns perfectly with our local theme, Glaucoma Free World, a shared responsibility.
An expert from the University of Calabar describes glaucoma as a leading cause of irreversible blindness in the country, stressing the need for early detection and regular eye examinations, particularly for people above the age of 40.
Glaucoma is a leading cause of irreversible blindness. Eye care professionals have worked for years to detect and manage this disease. Preventing glaucoma blindness requires everyone's involvement. Regular eye examinations are essential for early detection. Share awareness with family, friends, and community. That's part of what we're doing today. Also, about 40% of those with glaucoma report very late to the hospital, which is a very major problem that we have. We do not want late presentation at facilities anymore. We want people to report early to facilities.
Eye care specialists continue to call for increased awareness and routine checks to reduce preventable blindness in the state.
Now, the Consumer Protection Council, CPC, in Imo State has reaffirmed its commitment to protecting consumer rights, urging residents to maintain confidence in the goods and services they purchase. Speaking at the 2026 World Consumer Rights Day celebration themed Safe Products, Confident Consumers, the Director General of the agency in the state, Obioma Okafor, highlighted the importance of product safety in building public trust and driving economic growth. She called on producers to comply with established safety standards and encourage consumers to remain vigilant and report unsafe products.
This year's theme, Safe Products, Confident Consumers, is both timely and significant. It emphasizes the need for consumers to have confidence in the goods and services that they purchase, knowing that such products are safe, genuine, and approved standards will help consumers to be safe. And remember, part of your right as a consumer, you have the right to safety. Producers and service providers must ensure that the products they introduce into the market meet required standards and safety procedures. At the same time, consumers must ascertain, be vigilant, be informed, and ready to report any unsafe and fake products whenever and wherever they encounter them. Here in Imo CPC, we remain committed to protecting the welfare and rights of consumers through public enlightenment, effective monitoring, and collaboration with relevant stakeholders.
The state's chapter of the City Boy movement has refuted reports of a stampede and violence during the Renewed Hope National Youth Tour held in Owerri last Saturday, describing the claims as false and misleading. Addressing journalists in Owerri, the state's capital, the group says the event was peaceful and well coordinated with adequate measures in place to manage the large turnout. They note that over 20,000 youths attended, and while some impatience was recorded during distribution, it did not result in any violence. The group also dismissed narratives aimed at discrediting the program, reaffirming its commitment to promoting youth empowerment initiatives and supporting the policies of the current administration.
There was no stampede or violence during the program. As organizers, we carefully planned the event with the intention that every registered participant would receive one form of empowerment support. During the distribution process, the items were shared in an orderly manner. Participants were ushered in batches to receive their empowerment packages. However, due to the time required to distribute the item to the large number of beneficiaries, some level of impatience arose among participants who were eager to receive their support. This resulted in a moment of rowdiness, but not escalate into any form of stampede or violence.
The Abia State coordinator of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, Henry Iko, has praised the performance of President Bola Tinubu, saying his bold reforms are transforming Nigeria and enabling state governors to execute projects and pay salaries and when due, following the removal of fuel subsidy. The former Minister of State for Science and Technology made this known during the inauguration of ward and council executives of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors in Isialangwa South and North local government areas of Abia State. He commended the president's reforms in key sectors, including the petroleum industry and the economy, and urged residents of the state to support his second-term bid. While expressing confidence that the people of Abia are ready to support and mobilize for the president, Iko said it is the responsibility of Nigerians to demand accountability from their local government chairmen and state governors.
You will agree with me today, there is a whole lot of money in every state. There is no state governor now that go hand in cap begging to pay salary. Salary is being paid as at when due. Because this president has taken a bold step to remove subsidy. Subsidy was a scam. A scam in the sense that very few individuals will sit down one place and use our oil, and they convert it to their personal wealth. But today, if there is any development you are seeing in any state, it's through this president who have taken a bold step in making sure that money comes as and when due.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is the reason for Omeloko Bridge. He is the reason for so many federal roads going on. The governor of the state and people handling here have not been interested to put the state's growth as their first priority. All their efforts are the federal road because they know they will be refunded, and they have been refunded. Therefore, we give kudos to Mr. President. I'm appealing to you and our party faithful. We have no other home, we have no other house, we have no other place than APC. Therefore, let all of us rise with everything we have and make sure the promise we're making to our leader today, and by 2020, you will be sure that you will be calling us and ask us how we do the magic. The magic is this man here.
And that's where we drop the encore on this edition of Newsroom Series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. For updates, kindly visit our website. That's www.channelstv.com. Enjoy the rest of your day.